leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, all over the world. I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. We have come to complete the work that the class of 67 started. We have come to fulfill that which has been promised to this very generation. We have come that even the blind may see and even those who are deaf may hear. We have come that those who were previously miseducated may be able to gain the enlightenment of reasonable tutorial on the issues affecting their lives. The whole world is listening, and we shall proceed, of course, very, very gingerly to present to you what we have in store for you this very morning, afternoon or night, depending on where you are. Make a few announcements regarding our sit at home that is coming up on the 31st. Lockdown, not even sit at home, lockdown. I have issued the orders to the men on the ground. Not even a cockroach is allowed to cross from one cupboard to the other. Not even cockroach or chicha cannot move from one cupboard to the other. There will be no movement, absolute and total paralysis of activities in the east, in the land of Biafra. Everywhere will be on absolute and total lockdown as we salute those that fell and served us between 1967 to 1970. If you know any veteran around you between now and Monday, please ensure that you visit them. I don't want anybody to lie to say that they served in the very glorious army of Biafra when they didn't do so. We'll remember our veterans, those of them who are still alive. We will celebrate the memory of those that fell in the various battlefields. You must also understand that it was the Third World War. We lost over 5 million people during this very period, of which the world have decided not to talk about for very obvious reasons, because we are Biafrans and because we are the chosen children of God. And also, we fought the whole world. It was the Third World War. Britain was on the side of the Fulani Janjaweed, Gowon-led government. They also managed to convince Russia to join them. It was the only time in the history of the world since the end of the Second World War in 1945 that a free nation like Britain decided to join a communist repressive regime as obtained then in the former Soviet Union in order to oppress a very small country in Africa, because it was at the height of the Cold War, do not forget. But Britain jettisoned and abandoned everything to do with their so-called ideological purity during that very time in order to coerce Russia to support Gowon in order to defeat Biafra, or should I say to prevail over Biafra. They hired Egyptian pilots. OAU was as weak and as stupid as ever, the same way they are this very day, of course, with the exception of Julius Nyerere, and to an extent, should I say, the mediation role played by Emperor Haile Selassie, and of course, if you order Gabon, for instance, that recognized Biafra, and also Cote d'Ivoire under President Hufred Burney. The rest of them decided to gang up with the Janjaweed in order to deny us access to weapons, access to food, access to medical care. Some people even said that starvation was a legitimate instrument of war, which of course is a war crime. But all these things happened. There was no international investigation. Nothing was done about it. And today we are here trying to finish what those brave men started very many years ago. I want to also remind all of you that we fought this very Third World War and we held out for 3 years. The Second World War lasted for about 5 years, from 1939 to mid-1945. But only tiny Biafra was able to sustain the might of 3 superpowers to stay afloat for 3 years. Mind you, we were denied access to food, to medical care. We were denied access to weapons. That was when they created the core states. The Cross River State was created, then River State was also created. And isn't it very, very fortuitous that the same man they brought in to preside over River State that was created to spite Biafra? River State that Amechi is jumping up and down. I wouldn't say Amechi, please, I'm so sorry. That the little Hitler, Mwike, is jumping up and down today, was created to spite, to divide our people at the height of the war by Gowon. No other person than Gowon, and that is why his land today has been ravaged and taken over by bandits. I must also make it abundantly clear to all of you, especially those of you who are listening, that we are not going to stop until we complete this very work that our fathers, so to speak, started before we came. It is very, very critical that you understand that come 31st, there will be total lockdown in Biafra land. Absolute cast iron total lockdown. Every living organism, if we find you outside, you're a gunner. As I will always say, ask the zoo police and the zoo army, they will tell you what they're going through. There will be no living organism, no vehicle on the road. Don't come out and be talking rubbish that they, oh, had I known, this thing they are doing, this. We must honor those, because without the class of 1967 to 1970, you will not be alive today. All of us will be alive today. They fought very, very gallantly. They defended our land, and we must honor them. And honor them we shall. Do not make any mistakes about it. You know, they have brought their suicide bombers into our land. The first of them being one idiot called Idi Amin, and fittingly so, of course. The idiot that blew up himself in a Borno state, going to a market to go and kill people. That Dave Umahi quickly swept under the carpet. But we know the truth, and that truth we shall preach on this platform. There will be no movement on the 31st. On the Monday, our activities will start on the 30th. We shall observe, we shall pray. And on the 9th of the 30th, we're going to have a candlelight vigil everywhere. Candlelight vigil everywhere. Most churches that are going to be opened on Sunday, this coming Sunday, please, you are going to pray for this safe repose of the soul of those that died during the war. We must also remember those of them, including Ikonso, that have died ever since, trying to defend our land from the ravages and excesses of Fulani Janjaweedism. We must also remember men of Eastern Security Network who are today protecting our land against the threat of invasion from Fulani Janjaweed, government of the Zoological Republic. Of course, their front men, they tried to use Miet Yala. They failed completely and woefully. We defeated them. Now they are trying to use their foot soldiers, of course, the terrorists that they recruited into the army and into the police. What we want Dave Umahi to understand is very, very simple. You are going to lose eventually. Nobody fights their people and wins. It's impossible. Go through history, you will see it. Dave Umahi, you're a loser. That presidency you're gunning for, you can see how it has just evaporated before your eyes. You will be consigned to the dustbin of history, to the dustbin of irrelevance. You are a very foolish and stupid man, and we are going to prove it to you. All that your nonsense with Fulani Islamic Bank is not going to work in our land. Ebonyi is the land of Biafra, and we have fought very, very gallantly to defend it, and there is absolutely nothing yourself or any other individual, for that matter, can do about it. Because here, everything we tell you comes to pass. Everything I tell you on this noble platform comes to pass. And I want to remind that very idiot, there's a very foolish man, the Vice Chancellor, they say, of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. We've been told that this very man have scheduled an exams on the 31st, the day that we announced I was sit at home. Or should I say total lockdown of Biafra land. It is a total lockdown, not even sit at home, total lockdown. Anything outside that day is a gunner. The Vice Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University wants to test his popularity, and we shall make him very famous. Since he wants to be very famous, he wants to attract perhaps 1 or 2 loans or grants from Fulani Janjaweed, the same way that Umahi did, by being against his people so he can collect loans from Islamic Bank to build 1 or 2 flyovers and deceive the idiots that wish to be deceived, but not us. I want to make it very clear to this very monkey this very idiot of the VC of Nnamdi Azikiwe University. His name is Charles Okechukwu Esimone, whatever the idiot. I don't care to know where he comes from. Tell this idiot, tell this fool, whoever knows this vagabond, go and tell him. If he wants, I'm not going to say much. Go and put exams on Monday. You see what will happen to you. And those people who will be foolish enough to wish to participate, try it and you will see what will happen to you. Then you will understand how serious we are. You will understand how serious we are. That we are not joking. That we are very, very serious. And there is nothing anybody can do to stop the 31st of May this year from being observed as the main day. We sit at home, or should I say, we lock down everywhere, an act of respect to those that fell, that we may live, they died, that we may live, and we must honor them every blessed year in perpetuity, forever and ever. If our sit at home, if our 30th of May falls on a Shabbat, or falls on a Sunday, we choose a date to sit at home, which is normally the next working day, that the world may see the impact of what we are doing. We are not trying to deride the 30th of May. No, it stays that way. Very holy, very sacred, sacrosanct, so to speak. But the real deal will take place on the 31st, when the entirety of Biafra land will be under lock and key. Complete and total lockdown. Complete and absolute lockdown. The name of this idiot is Charles Okechukwu Esimone. If you know him, tell him that this is what Nnamdi Kanu said this morning. That Ogogoro, I don't know, maybe he drinks Hennessy. I don't know, maybe he smokes goof, weed. Tell him that by Monday, that weed would have cleared from his eyes. If he feels it's very tough, he wants to maybe go and bring the new, is it Yahaya, the new chief of army staff, to come and protect him. Then he will better, let me advise him, he better run back to the north, in Sharia North, because when I mean the north, I'm talking about the 12 or 13 Sharia states, and they call Arewa North, not Middle Belt. He should go there and become a vice chancellor, not in Biafra land. I have not heard from him, so I will give him the benefit of the doubt by asking him that he should refrain from the madness that he's about to embark upon. Every school will be closed down. Any principal, any headmaster, any headmistress, any fool that opens his school on Monday, take up all work. Then you will know how upset we are with some of you fools and grammarian. These are fools that only specialize in writing grammar. They know nothing. Nothing comes out of it. Is there electricity in Unizik one? Is there any light there? Is there any running water? Can you use the toilet and be able to flush it in Unizik? You cannot, because you're in a zoo. Mad people everywhere. Set exams that they can take a ball idiot. Everywhere will be on lockdown on the 31st. Everywhere will be on total lockdown on that very day. I don't want any student of the Faculty of Education to go there to write any exams on that very day. Let me see how they're going. Let me see the teachers or lecturers or whoever that will come out and say, in fact, get me anybody you see outside, inside Unizik. Anybody you see walking around, any lecturer, please forward his name or her name to me, or their names to me. We are here to defend our people. We saved you people from the, should I say, from the Islamic rule of Miet Yala in Ebonyi State. If not for ESN, if not for IPOB, Ebonyi State by now will be under Miet Yala rule. The same way that Plateau State is, the same way they're trying to force Benue State to be. Without Eastern Security Network and IPOB, by now most of you will be refugees in Amazonia. Therefore, when we ask you to sit at home and do nothing, you sit at home, please. We know what we are doing. We are the ones fighting and protecting your lives all these years. If not for what we are doing, of course, by the grace of the Almighty in heaven, by now our land would have been overrun. If not for what we are doing, the whole of Nigeria, the whole indigenous populations will be under the yoke of Fulani Caliphate. When you wake up in the morning, for goodness sake, say a prayer for IPOB, say a prayer for Eastern Security Network. They are your saviors that you can see with your two eyes. That Nigeria is talking about restructuring is because of IPOB, nobody else, no other bagger is because of IPOB. If you don't know, let me tell you. You must be grateful. And we are here today because of what our fathers did between 67 and 70. And we must honor them. It's the right thing to do. Everywhere in the world they do so. We must honor them. That's precisely what Monday is all about, for those who don't understand. If you like, you come out, and anything that happens to you, you will. Don't allow for people to say, oh, we told you. After they finish with the army and the police, they will come after you. I am warning you now, do not come out. It's for your own good. We must remember it was this same IPOB that started this very tradition of making sure that our land is secure. That you remember those that fought and died for you. It is IPOB, no other person, no other group of people. It is this same noble family that God Almighty in heaven, out of his infinite mercy, decided must come into existence. If you don't know, let me tell you. They were there all this while doing Ohanese, doing one rubbish or the other. Nobody remembered those that fought and died for them. An act of wickedness and treachery of the highest order. Zoo, they do their own every 15th of January. They remember those that came into your land to kill you, but you cannot remember those that fought and died for you. What sort of people are you? Anyway, no wonder they've been killing you, all of you, until we came. Or should I say, until Chico Gigadiama determined that we should come. Do you know why they put Children's Day on the 27th of May? Do you know why they put Children's Day on the 27th of May? It was on the 27th of May that the Consultative Assembly of the Old Eastern Region sat together in Enugu and decided and gave Ojukwu the mandate to declare Biafra, which he did on the 30th of May. Some of you don't know this. To take away the importance of that very day, to take away the importance of that very day, the Zoo put Children's Day on the 27th of May. Some of you don't even know. You're saying, oh, 27th of May, Children's Day, you don't know why they did it. This morning, I am telling you the reason why they did it. And before I go any further, I hope it's very clear now. I said lockdown, not even sit at home. Lockdown. Lockdown. If your neighbor wants to go out that day, will not be Kuboye. Complete and total lockdown. After all, during the height of the COVID, they stole all your relief they were supposed to give to you. Did you come outside? During the lockdown of COVID, the Chinese virus, did you come out? Did you come out? I'm asking you. You never came out. Now you are going to sit at home on the 31st of May to honor those that you should have been honoring every day of your lives. Every blessed day of your lives, you ought to be honoring. I understand that one idiot, I don't want to mention the buffoon's name, is talking about people should come out that they have secured. It's an hour, we'll come out in Imo State now. Come out in nowhere on Monday. I check a ball walk. Come out, let us see. You have yourself to blame. Everywhere is on a lockdown. Every road closed. I want every road to be closed. Go into all the young people in every village. Go to the bush, cut down trees, big ones, block every road. Then we trap any vehicle stupid enough will be trapped inside the truck upon their hawk. Then both the driver and the passengers. God will punish all of you. No movement, I said. No aircraft. Go, if you know Airpeace, if you know any aircraft operator, tell them no flight is coming into Owerri. No flight into Enugu. No flight into Asaba. That's what I said. No flight should come in. None whatsoever should come in. For their information, no flight should come in. I understand people that work in the oil sector and they want to fly into Iguacha. That is their prerogative. We don't want to stop them. They're doing vital economic work, believe it or not. But in the core areas I've just mentioned, no flight should come in. I said no flight should come in. And no movement on the road. I want all the young people everywhere across the whole of Biafra land, from Bakassi all the way to Gurumiguru, block every road. I want every major road blocked. Blocked. No movement anywhere. There'll be one idiot that they will say, when Hemegano, nothing is happening, let's go out. And then your family will bury you.
No victory, no vanquish. Never who's a man one and I bought him he can bandibo over the area barren no nana. Never I reborn a beca to work at Yaman Nenuno. Western Yasitonian Zapata, or who's a man we can come see, he can cancel for Bani Mokrobia. Or I could have Baguna Trarade. I could touch it when on Bondido of our saga, but you don't know any of Amanobu. Never in any man I would Ibovarsin a super bongo. To put a Kuno no I may hear Obama, Macanibuana Yoke, or Payam Bokuraki can go to Buflani Binibu. Moji Chupa over the need of Etua Hamadikan Dibu. Never on every can know Eric Catori. Chetopun number of non Adimu and Adikaki can Ganando. No over Sidikamu, a 2 year debu, Etro Jukunosu, who ever broke from Potasekan Kenea Udike. No one can deny Patoria Mazin Nandicano, or Hamadican Dibo, Dicadi Arama, Umpatu Perendibo, no much good Biafra, no much good and dot Dano. Nabaya, who does remember a number, or the Wupara, how much is lower than Nigeria. Then you know, one and Mama, Mumaja Jog, when they one now flying over our saga. Or when you want to occur the Barambogo, but hope was a Mabaro Breeze. Yes, a week about which a Macanoco Canibia, Unoquano, or the grass and native Vedike. Oh, go ahead and you dock you and Meha. What you will go ever see a make a question. When the Ukano is out of Bioku, full of Robawa saga, then you know back a jog of one Buraga. You won't lose the most of that way. And my boy, I can't hear Janu Puchapaya, Macaro Boy Haji Debupe, a man who go over there. I will carry Munadi. No one need your cabin when he had to Najiri Bonaga, who were the man on the Eastern Song Governors. Gera and Aga Kopija. When I've won on Nab and how they are Naga, no, the rituals had to be a prane route. You won't lose the Mozorezo Quesoku. On a more Nagun, another body can, and a body can Ogun or one of Gumbes Dedican. I'm not got the mother that Pussy was taking the Kanu Cable, City Cable. Where the children now we are decaying, Nianda Nagoro Hondo. And me put a bug on Manoya Homa. No bug and Jaya Honjo. No good using our water, I think you were. And city is a Vija in Navana. You won't lose the most again, Moon in the bay. What you wrote you on our boy who? Eh, Chetamu, Mufladias man or Bizana Baran, everybody on my name over them Papa Libo. Or Pania good at Chamba Batara. But I was also. There's no question Kundabai, ask him Kahi Ajanuku. Nobody but in the Kaibian. There's no question Kundamu. Now what have we done 2 million? I know who are going to do the Jabia. Yakan none of them. Now what I like to talk about them one word would if we never the Jadiboso, you will buy the Jadiboso. We have gone too far to go back. It is either now or never, forward ever, backward never. Ka bi ni igwe wara aka na abụchụwa ana anyị. N'eziokwu eziokwu igbo mụrụ nze mụ ọzọ. Ka m okwu ya akwụ m nọ na amụ ime uro m n'isi nne ebe uro m a na-ebe. Mana mụ okoro ọzọ ji ọzọ. Aga m abịa ka nnebe kene. O doro m anya n'obodo ahụ onye kwuo egwu anwụ ofuo efuo onye gburu agba abụghị ọkụ. Mana n'eziokwu eziokwu egwu anaghị atụ ahụ oburu ụzọ. N'eziokwu eziokwu ọkwa anaghị agafe mmiri wara agba igbo okpete. Amakwana m ka m si kwado onye rụzi ụka ọhụ n'anya.
Together, together, together. The more we fight together, the stronger we shall be. The more we fight together, together, together. The more we fight together, and stronger we shall be.
Rising sun, rising sun.
Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Believe it or leave it, Biafra is the only hope of Africa.
We've been crying, the world cannot to hear. Then we've been lamenting, the world cannot to hear. Our tears flow, the world cannot to see. And our blood flow, the world cannot to see. This is a crime, oh no, against humanity. Oh no, yeah, this is a crime. Eritrea spoke up, they were given independence. South Sudan spoke, they were given independence. Namibia spoke up, they were given independence. Give me the reason my people got to be neglected. Give me the reason my people got to be rejected. Give me the reason our freedom got to be a crime. Give me the reason our own freedom got to be denied. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Believe it or leave it. Oh no. That was physical battle, and we're betrayed by the people them trust. Today's heroes are fighting. This is a spiritual battle. Let us unite and give Biafra a meaning. If we don't take time, we can't remain in this life. No freedom of speech, no freedom of expression, no freedom of worship, no freedom of religion, justice denied. Oh, of my own very people, justice denied. On the rising sun. song. Hey. Justice denied. Oh, my freedom fighter. Yeah. What is so bad? My people wanna be liberated. What is so bad? My people wanna be independent. What is so bad? My people wanna be alone. This is the time we will make it known to the world. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hospitality, positive, education, positive, economic, positive, hospitality. I tell you what, positive. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africans. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. My people will cry. Biafrans will crying. My people are suffering. Oh, Biafrans because all I do, because
As we continue to be very great and calamity, because which is the chalice of God, the Holy Grail himself.
Biafran warrior, freedom fighter man, Igonso is our hero, Igonso in the rest of the paradise.
You fought like a soldier, and you died like a soldier. You never betrayed our motherland. Your legacy lives on.
you are a gallant soldier, a fervent soldier, benevolent soldier. My brother, you will live on. Because you will live on. Because you are a hero. Because
What you never had it.
To be avenged, because it is appointed unto man to die only but once. It is the way you die that matters. It is the way you exit the stage that matters.
The sudden death is unbearable. I feel the pain from my innermost heart. You just have to say goodbye, my hero.
Ebani no nechebe kasino to banana. You left us, but you live on.
Ono no bogo, nante kwala Biafra, njinji chireji, ala juroyi, iya inuruta, ESN commander, umunne rarayanye, konsamwala.
You are innocent. You offended nobody, but they choose to kill you. You offended nobody, but they choose to kill you. We revenge now.
Ikonso, your death will be remembered.
As Biafrans mourn you, the whole world mourns you too.
It truly pains my heart that you are no more.
You are a hero.
The shock can never go out from my heart that you are no more. Continue fighting.
You are a hero.
Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. We will get reincarnate soon.
And the Ikonso will be avenged without apologies to any idiot wherever in the world. And the work is ongoing to that effect, and we're not going to stop until the heads are complete. They did before we came, there was nobody like us. Now that we are here, they pretend, they copy, they emulate, they fabricate falsehood, but they can never be like us. Long after we are gone, they will wish we lived forever. IPOB is very special, exceptionally special, the largest mass movement in the whole world bar none. And we did it because Chukwokika Biama is with us. We did it because Chukwokika Biama created IPOB himself. And we are here to pilot its affairs. We will not prevaricate. We will not stop. We will not slumber until Biafra is fully restored to its former glory. Anybody in doubt as to our resistance? People, great Biafrans, regardless of where you are, where you're domiciled, even those waiting for the finals of the Champions League between Man City and Chelsea. All of you here gathered this evening, morning, noon, or night, depending on where you are. I welcome each and every one of you to this very, very important and urgent broadcast this very evening from where I am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. I will not keep you for too long because we are passing through a lot. And any legitimate distraction you can get is most welcome. So I will try not to keep you away from what you have planned this very evening, especially for those of you who are avid football fans waiting to watch the Champions League finals. My name is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the largest mass movement on the face of this planet Earth, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I am the director of radio Biafra and Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, Chukwokika Biama Pumi, and a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Today is the 29th day. In a few hours' time, I will be commencing my midnight prayers, and I'm sure that most of us will be able to join as well. I'm not going to do it live on air, of course. I will pray very privately, and I will encourage some of you to also do the same. Tomorrow is very, very important. In fact, tomorrow is our own holy day. It's the holiest day in the calendar of Biafrans. Every 30th of May, it is a very, very holy day, the holiest day of the year for us. Very, very important. We remember the bravery, the courage, the unbridled patriotism of those that went before us, the class of 67 to 1970, and in perpetuity we shall honor and remember them always. I said always, every year, in perpetuity until the end of time. And this evening is not going to be an exception. I will ask you, please, to make sure that a lot of people are listening, they're watching us. For some of you who are on Instagram, I welcome you. Those of you who are listening via my page, private page on Facebook, I also welcome you. To those who are listening via YouTube, you're welcome. Those who are listening via, of course, our very, very glorious IPOB Community Radio app, we welcome you. Those listening via Radio Biafra, those listening on FM across Biafra land and in parts of the zoo, those of you who are, of course, watching or listening via satellite, I welcome, of course, Biafra Television, please. We are also on Biafra Television. People are also watching us on University of Radio Biafra on Facebook as well. If you want to watch us or listen to us, you should be able to do so. Please tell those who are around you. We'll be very, very brief, please, I assure you. But before we proceed, let us pray very, very briefly. And I will say the Lord's Prayer this evening, please, so that we may proceed to bring to you what we have in store for you this evening. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever, we pray. He said. One thing is obvious that I want to remind the zoo this very evening is that we are indestructible. And we are not going to stop until we get what we are looking for. What we're asking for is simply a referendum that will lead us to the democracy, the freedom, the liberation that Biafra portends, not just for the trapped and subdued indigenous populations in the damnable contraption called Nigeria, but the whole of Africa as well. Something we have posted has been trending all day. Very, very important that there is a very brief recap. The reason why we are here this evening is to warn our people about the complete lockdown of Biafra land. In fact, over 2 days, people will go to church and do nothing else tomorrow. And then on Monday, there will be a complete chaining of the entirety of Biafra land. Everywhere will be under lock and key. There are moves by some individuals, people who are Fulani slaves like Dave Umahi, to try to circumvent this very important and critical date in our calendar. Dave Umahi is a Fulani man masquerading as an Igbo man. Dave Umahi is urinating on the grave of our soldiers and our heroes. That very idiot was asking me this evening, who did I discuss it at home with? And I just asked myself a very, very pertinent question. You and I, you are a governor of a state. You claim you're a leader of the people. You and Nnamdi Kanu, who should be reminding each other about the importance of the 30th of May. You claim you're a leader. You don't even understand the meaning of leadership. You have, all of you idiots in government houses don't even have an idea. You don't have a clue what leadership is all about. In case you have forgotten Dave Umahi and all the rest of the multi-purpose Efulefus we have in our land, all you Miletiala servants, I want to remind you as to why we got to where we are today in this effort to restore Biafra. Times Magazine of London, 7th of October, 1966. In 1966, a whole full year before Ojukwu declared